All right, all right. I'm going to be extremely impressed if people join this live stream. 6:52 a.m. on the East Coast, May 10th, Friday. Showdown slate tonight. What is going on, girls? What is going on, guys? Again, I would be extremely impressed if people show this. I'm going to do a quick one. But yeah, NBA season coming to an end. We were blessed last night to get 2 games to go to Game 7, so excited about that. That likely means we see another 2-game showdown, or 2-game showdown, 2-game slate for NBA DFS, which is good. That's fun. It's better than 1-game showdowns. Showdown slates stink, but 2,000 of you are going to watch this video, so why not make it and try and help people out instead of people just aimlessly throwing their money away. They can sort of have an idea and throw their money away, right? Michael Bland, what's going up? What's up, man? I hope you were on the East Coast and not up at 3:53 in the morning on the West Coast. But honestly, even if you are, you're probably doing something productive. So, regardless, good morning to you, sir. What is going on? Last night was a good night for me in the MLB streets and a good first day for golf, but that usually means nothing until today, the cut day. NBA stunk. NBA stunk. I think unless you were all on the Sixers yesterday, it probably stunk. But yeah, damn, man. MLB DFS, the payout structures are terrible. Yesterday I finished 5th in the $333 $50,000 to first, so 500-person field. Finished 5th. Won $1,500 on my way to work. Nice. Where do you work, Michael? What do you do? If you don't mind me asking. But I finished 5th yesterday in that. Won $1,500. Now, look, I'm not complaining. That is good money. You put $333 and you win $1,500. But the odds of me finishing 5th were extremely slim, right? And I understand the odds of you finishing 25th in a 500-person field is also slim. But what I'm trying to say is when first place is $50,000 and 5th is $1,500, the payout structures are not flat. They need to be flatter. Second place was $20,000. Third place was $10,000. Fourth place was $4,000, and then 5th was $1,500. It doesn't make sense to me. It is beyond difficult for you to continuously win, and I get it. If you're somebody who's throwing one lineup in and you're playing $5 or the $10 tournament, and you're just hoping to bank the $100K or the $50K, which you're likely not, but if you're just hoping to, and you have the budget aside to do that, sure, you're entertaining yourself at night. I understand it. That's fine. But if you're somebody who actually wants to continue to play DFS for as long as you can and make money doing it and give yourself, the idea here for me is giving myself a chance to survive, right? Give your chance to survive, I guess, or continue all the way through for years, because the more days that you play DFS, the better chances that you do have at banking that top prize. So when I come in 5th place in a tournament where I'm 1 home run away, I'm praying for Yadier Molina, my only bat left, to get up. He's on deck. There's runners on the corners. I'm down by like 10, right? So a home run wins it for me. Excuse me. And there's a double play. The only double play of the game for the Cardinals, they put up like 20 runs. The only double play is when it hurts my guy getting up next. But regardless, finishing 5th place, winning $1,500. In the NBA regular season, I finished top 10 twice in the big. And now, granted, there was double the amount of money in the prize pool, $100K to first. But I finished top 10. I finished 6th the one time, and I took home like $4K, which is a little more than double what I would be taking home at finishing 5th. So it's just all backwards. The NBA payout structure is better in the regular season than MLB, and the MLB's is getting much worse. The flatter payouts are not there. You're getting top-heavy to the top 10%. So if I was to finish 12th in that 13th, I'm still finishing with a top 1 percentile finish for the most part, right? And I'd be getting paid $500, which is $167 more than I put in. The payoffs for the actual production or finish is not there for MLB. And that's why I've been reluctant to do MLB content. Partially because I'm doing MLB content. I'm going to transition to moving and things like this. But the payout structures for the MLB are terrible. You have to bank a big tournament or finish top 2 or 3 and take home 5 figures or more to really realize anything. Whereas in other sports, you can enter multiple lineups. You can finish in the top 10, and in those sports, your 5th place finish, your 4th place finish might be 5 figures instead of just your 1 or 2. So it's just weird, man. That's why I continue when I do play MLB DFS to only play the little bit of a higher buy-in, but there's only 200 people in the field, only 500 people in the field, so that my odds of at least finishing in that top 10% where all the money is loaded, or the top 10 places, not top 10%, the top 10 places, the top 1%, where all that money is loaded, that is where I choose to play. I'm not going to play a 40,000 person field tournament because my odds of finishing in the top 10 places in that are much slimmer. Last night, I finished 5th in the 500-person field, $50K to first, $333 buy-in. I don't know what the other buy-in was. The smaller tournament, was it a $5, whatever it was, $15 buy-in? I finished 45th. Same exact lineup. Took home $70. So obviously putting more money in means you're going to get more returns if you finish better, but there's just less competition. So my 5th place finish was 45th in another bigger field. That's why I just like to lean on the smaller fields personally if I'm not max entering. What's going on, Ahmed? How you doing? What's popping? Nothing. It's 6:58 in the morning. Round 2 of this AT&T Byron Nelson's going to start soon. I'm going to make a little breakfast right after this stream. The video should be up soon. And then I'm going to look into MLB DFS today. There's 14 games. I don't know if I'm going to play. I played the last 2 afternoon. I like the smaller afternoon slates, if I'm going to be honest. I know people like the bigger slates. I'm fine with the 5 or 6 game slates. I like the 7-game night slate we had yesterday, or 6-game. I like those a lot for MLB. But yeah, this is the NBA right in front of me. In terms of what I think is going to happen with Durant, I would project Kevon Looney to start at the 5. It's hard to project. It could go any way. It's whatever Steve Kerr feels like he wants to do. But the fact that Kevon Looney played the last 7.5 minutes of the last game, and he closed it out with the other starters. He closed it out with Iggy, Steph, Clay, Draymond. That bodes well for me to think that he's going to start. And if he doesn't start, I still think he gets good run. I haven't projected, and we can see the minutes right here. I haven't projected for 30 minutes today. That's a lot of minutes. But there's 44 minutes of Kevin Durant, along with the average normal bench minutes in the 40s to go around today. You take 44 minutes of Kevin Durant away, and a guy like Kevon Looney, who was already seeing 16 minutes a game, and in the last game he saw 22 of just pretty much one quarter without Durant. He saw a 6-minute bump. I haven't projected for 30 today, and I think it's fair. I think that he starts. I think him starting pushes Draymond to the 4, obviously, and that hurts Draymond a little bit, but nothing major. I think Chris Paul at 40 minutes today is what I have him at, and 7,800, the 5th most expensive guy on this slate, and I have him projected for the 3rd most points. I like that. And now Draymond can very well easily be a little bit projected a little bit higher depending on what you're going to weigh. I have now updated all of the rates for this to average in both their season rates and this series rates, so you get a little bit of weight for what they're actually going up against in these past 5 games, also influenced into some of these projections. In terms of guys that I have scoring 10 or more fantasy points today, there's just 12. In terms of guys that I have scoring 20 or more fantasy points today, there's just 10. So that's what I'm at right now. The video just uploaded, so I believe it did at least. Did it? It did. So I'll start to edit some of those things. But the main things that I'm taking away from today's slate, obviously, what is the impact of Durant being out? And how does that impact the other side of the ball? Durant being out, I believe it gives a big bump to Kevon Looney, potentially putting him in the starting lineup. I believe it gives maybe 5 minutes to Alfonso McKinzie. You could shore up your Andre Iguodala minutes by about 2 or 3. I believe that we heard Steve Kerr say in the last game, he pretty much came out and say after the game that guys who weren't going to, he said guys that have not had the opportunity, he said, how did he word it exactly? It was something along the lines of people who have not, or guys who have not contributed yet will have the opportunity to do so. So that pretty much signals to me that Jordan Bell and Quinn Cook are going to get on the court. Now, does that mean they're going to play 20 minutes? No. I have Jordan Bell right now for 6 or 4, and I have Quinn Cook for 2. And in the video, I literally break down every single minute as to how I got those guys for those minutes and why I can't give them more. So the only way you can give them more is if you're pretty much lessening Alfonso McKinsey's minutes or Shaun Livingston's, which I don't see happening. Definitely not Livingston. McKinney, maybe. Maybe they give more minutes to Jordan Bell or Quinn Cook. I'd say it'd go to Bell first over Alfonso McKinney, but I don't think so. So that's where I'm at right now. The guys who stand out, obviously at $3,800, Kevon Looney, if I'm projecting him for 30 minutes, he's going to stand out a lot. So in terms of putting him in the captain spot, it's risky, but at that cheap price point, it allows you to fit in really whatever else you want. So I think that's an interesting play, going Kevon Looney in the captain spot. If Kevon Looney is starting, I find it very hard to get away from him in my lineup whatsoever. In terms of just the cheap values and guys that take punts on, I don't think there's really any, to be honest with you. Nene's been playing 4 or 5 minutes a game. That's not worth it at $1,200. Jerebko, he's been playing around 6 minutes a game. Maybe that goes up to 8. I have him still at 6 today. Not worth it at $1,800. Jordan Bell and Gerald Green at $1,000. Both not worth it. Have Gerald Green getting his 2 minutes today, which has pretty much been getting 2 or 3 a game in this series. And then Jordan Bell, I have him, really, I'm projecting him for 4, but probably nowhere will project him for anything because He hasn't played yet, but I'm just going off of what Steve Kerr said in the last game, and I think Jordan Bell would be the first guy to see an opportunity out of the guys who have not yet played in this series, and then most likely Quinn Cook. So below $2,000, there's nothing for me to even try and target. Alfonso McKenzie at $2,000 even. Now this starts to get interesting. I only have him projected for 8 points, but he does have 14 minutes today. And in a showdown slate, projections, yes, they matter a little bit, but what is that guy going to do with his 14 minutes today? Is it his normal thing, like he'll do 70% of the time, or is he going to do something that he hits 3 threes in that time, and now Alfonso McKenzie has 16 fantasy points and he's needed? So he's the first guy who becomes in play for me, I guess you can say, but I'm also not interested. I'm not interested in Amon Shumpert. He's very similar to Alfonso McKinney for me. Amon Shumpert's only averaging in this series 0.6 fantasy points per minute. That is dreadful. That is really bad. He's been terrible. The first place that I'm really starting to look, and I said it, over 10 fantasy points or more, Shaun Livingston. I have him projected at around 10 fantasy points today, 18 minutes. It's the first place I'm going to look. I have him getting a 2 to 3 minute bump with Kevin Durant being out. I think that's reasonable, and I don't think there's any reason Shaun Livingston can't play 20 minutes. You could very easily take the 2 projected minutes I have for Quinn Cook today and give them to a guy like Shaun Livingston. So that's where, in terms of the lowest dollar amount I'd be willing to spend and feel comfortable, it's probably Shaun Livingston at $3,400. $3,800, though, this is where we're going to start to get real minutes. Kevon Looney at $3,800 and Austin Rivers at $4,400. They're both going to be guys who see significant run. I have Austin Rivers at 24 minutes today. I have Kevon Looney at 30 minutes today. Those are the places that plugging both those guys into your lineup probably isn't a bad idea. Andre Iguodala is cheap. He played 33 in the last one. I have him projected for 36 minutes today. I'm not shocked if it's 38. I have all the other starters from the Warriors projected for 42 or more in terms of Draymond, Clay, and Steph. From the Rockets side of the ball, 40 minutes or more, I have 4 of their 5 starters. I have Harden projected for 44, Paul projected for 40, Tucker projected for another 44, and Eric Gordon projected for 40. Clint Capella is the only question mark on the side of this team for the Rockets, and I break down into the video. I don't want to just give a complete overdo, and I understand that it's extremely early right now. I understand that it's extremely early right now, and there's only like 10 of you in this live stream, but it's just something that I do because I have the time to do it while the video is uploaded. So ask any questions that you want. I realize that people will watch this later on, so if you're watching this post live stream and you're just kind of watching it for fun afterwards, that's cool. It's definitely cool. Drop any comments that you have. We hit 4,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much. And yeah, just for what's to come, I realize that I continue to say, yes, we will be doing projections and things like, or not projections, but MLB content and things like that. And yes, we will be. And it's closer than everybody thinks. I'll just leave it at that. The NBA content, or the coming to an end, opens up way more time. Me graduating college opens up way more time. The MLB, I have my sheet and my projections and all that. I have to just update them with this year's information. I was using last year's at the beginning of the year, but they're coming a lot sooner than people think, like I said. So stay with me, bear with me for that. I don't have an exact date on that, but pretty much when I can just get these updated, and hopefully that could be today. There's some other things that I have to do, like get a job, apply to some jobs, and potentially in Raleigh. If you're somebody watching this and you know people in Raleigh that have anything to do with human resources, consulting, business, anything like that, tell them to hit me up. I am in the market for a job. But no, seriously, yeah, MLB content on the way. Very soon, we're going to have PGA, just in terms of other content coming out. We're going to have the PGA Championship. That's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, we're going through the Byron Nelson. I made a Byron Nelson video, and my goddamn laptop kind of just crashed and didn't save it because I ran out of storage, which was on me. My fault, not realizing that I had to delete the storage. Did not know it was filling up. But yeah. I hate doing the videos this early. I love getting up this early and being productive, but I hate doing them this early. It's good because more people will see it. There'll be more views on the video. That's great. More traction. More people see me. What's going on, Joseph Thomas? And I can help more people out. Good morning, Joseph. But I don't like it because when these live streams come around, people are obviously sleeping at 7 a.m. On a Friday, probably just getting up. It's not the same as me doing these at 8:30 a.m. when people are already either in work or just driving their car to work. But yeah, I appreciate the people that are in here, the early birds. You guys are getting the worm, no doubt about it, being productive, whether you're going to your job today, whether you're doing a workout this morning, whatever it might be. Getting up early matters. Adrian, what's up? Who's replacing Durant? What do you think? That's the question of the day, right, Adrian? What's going on, my man? Yeah, so I talked about it in the video. I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this stream, but yeah, I'll hit on that. So I personally think it's going to be Kevon Looney, and I think Kevon Looney sees big run. Kevon Looney played the last 7.5 minutes of that previous game with the starters. So he closed out the game. Whenever a guy closes out the game, that bodes well for their minutes. So even if Kevon Looney doesn't start today and you get a spot start for 6 to 8 minutes out of Andrew Bogut, I don't see that happening. Or if they go extremely small with Alfonso McKinney at the 3 and a guy like Andre Iguodala at the 4, I don't see that happening. Either way, if for some wacky reason Kevon Looney does not start, I still would project him for like 26 minutes. I have him projected for 30 right now. I just don't see how else they go. The only other way they would go is Andrew Bogut at the 5, which they've done. They've started that lineup a couple times. But if Andrew Bogut starts at the 5, I would not project him for anything more than 8 minutes, anything more than a spot start. To just have Kevon Looney coming off the bench to keep their bench production up, right? That would be the only reason I would see Andrew Bogut start, so that the second unit, the second team, is not just a bunch of dumpster fire. But I realistically have Kevon Looney for 30 minutes today. I think he's the guy who sees the biggest bump. And I think that there's potential on the other side for Clint Capella to pick up more minutes if they go to that route. If we're going to see a lot of minutes out of Looney, because then we're just going to see more minutes with bigs on the court. But that's where I'm at right now. Just more Kevon Looney is what I'm thinking. Hope you're having a good morning. I got to drink this goddamn coffee before I fall back asleep. Woke up at like 5 a.m., 4:45, whatever it was. Yeah. Joseph says, won $155 yesterday. The one lineup that was the most unique that could have won me the entire prize double. You got screwed by Seth Curry. Yeah, I didn't like Seth Curry yesterday. There was nothing that indicated to me that he would be any type of feature in that, right? In a game where their backs up against the wall, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum were expected to come out to play bigger minutes, like 2 or 3 more minutes, already playing big minutes, and to just be gunning. And that's exactly what happened. What about Clay in the captain spot? Yeah, R. Anthony. I talk about it in the video. I think there's 3 captains that are viable outside of just squeezing in Steph or Harden, right? And I think there's no reason that you should feel weird about squeezing in Steph or Harden today. But the 3 captains that I think are viable are in this order, probably Chris Paul, Clay, and Kevon Looney, in that order. This video is uploading. So, yeah, I think Chris Paul I would rather have in the captain spot. He's $600 cheaper. I have him projected for more median fantasy points, so it just becomes obvious for me, even at 4 less minutes. But yeah, Clay in the captain spot would be my second favorite option because of price. And then number 3 would most likely be Kevon Looney, if he indeed starts. You're going to get a guy playing big minutes, and you're going to get a guy playing the center. And it's not optimal. Playing Kevon Looney in the captain spot 99% of the time probably doesn't work out for you. But if tonight is the 1% of the time that Kevon Looney starts, plays 30, 31 minutes, 32 minutes, and he scores 36 fantasy points, and he gets you 54 in the captain spot, and that 1% chance happens tonight. Again, it's not optimal, but every single night you play a GPP, this is what the odds you're dealing with. If that 1% chance happens tonight, how many people are actually going to have Kevon Looney in the captain spot? Because then you'll easily be able to most likely fit James Harden, Steph Curry, maybe even Chris Paul as well, and build out the rest of your lineup. Also, if you have not already, and I did not mention this in the video, so here's a little bonus tip for you guys if you're watching the stream later on or right now. Leave money on the table. The guy in our Discord and who watches these videos that won $50-something thousand, he split it with 3 people like 2 weeks back, or not even, like 10 days ago. He wasn't leaving money on the table. He watched the video and he said that he heard me say leave money on the table, and he made a swap to leave a good amount of money left on the table. The only reason why he won that much money. If you don't leave money on the table, you still have an opportunity to take home the first place prize, right? But if you're taking it home, you're most likely, last night the first place prize on a 2-game slate in the Big 20 was split between 148 people because of chalk hit. If that happens, you can be damn sure it's going to happen in a showdown slate, and you don't want to be just taking home $600 when you win first place finally. Like, that's good money if you're only putting in 10 or 15 bucks or 18 bucks, but in terms of wanting to win the whole thing, no, it's not. So that's where I'd go. Doubled my money again, Sal. Nice. Thanks for the sound advice. You got it, man. Could have been a great night, but when Toronto heavy. Did roll with Dame, just like we had talked about being clutch. Yeah, Dame being clutch was the spot to go. Also, CJ McCollum, they both got there, so a unique type. The winning lineups I saw did not need Damian Lillard, though. I saw the 327.5 that 148 people tied for, the best score I think you could have had on the night. It had just a bunch of... I think everything just froze for a second. There we go. It had just a bunch of like chalkier plays for the most part. It had your Paul Millsaps with your, I believe, McCollum's, Butler's, Ben Simmons. So maybe not the chalkiest when you take into account Ben Simmons, but Everything else is kind of Kawhi. Did they have Kawhi? I don't think they even had Kawhi in that lineup. Maybe they did. They had to have, right? 53, maybe not. So yeah, the video is up. It is processing. Should be up in, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to go make some breakfast. Hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to work on this MLB DFS content. I'm going to work into looking for jobs in Raleigh. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. You're the best. And peace out, gang.